Welcome to Libby's cooking class! Hooray! Let's cook and be healthy! Today, we're going to make some butter, egg, and sugar-free animal cookies. We'll be making Tiggy and Leapy. Here's the recipe. The ingredients are flour, soy milk, cornstarch or potato starch, cocoa powder, salad oil, maple syrup, salt, and spinach. Boil the spinach to make a paste. Boil the water and boil the spinach for about 2 minutes. When it becomes soft, remove the spinach. And put it in a container to mix together. Adding hot water could make it easier to make the paste. And if it won't mix easily, add just a little more hot water. Now let's weigh our ingredients. You need 55 grams bread flour, and 50 grams of cake flour. Next, measure out 20 grams of cornstarch or potato starch. And add a pinch of salt. In a separate bowl, measure out the liquid ingredients. 50 grams maple syrup and 30 grams of oil. It's time to combine the powder and the liquid. I will pour the liquid into the powder. Use a spoon or spatula to mix the ingredients together. Keep mixing until everything is smooth and together. You don't want to see any clumps or lumps of flour anywhere. Now the dough looks all mushed. We can divide the batter into 4 portions. With the other quarter of the dough, place it in a plastic wrap. That's about 3 different parts. I will add a small amount of soy milk to the largest portion of the dough and mix it to bring the dough together. When it's all mixed together, I will wrap it in plastic wrap to keep it from drying out. In the other dough, I'll add the spinach paste. Oh no! The dough is getting soft! But that's okay. If the dough is too soft, you can add a little flour and mix it in. It should not be sticky when you hold it in your hands. So if it's sticking to your fingers, just add a little more flour. Measure out 3 grams of cocoa. And add a little hot water. It is hot, so have an adult help you. Mix it together to make a creamy texture. Smells like chocolate. Combine the creamy cocoa with the white dough you removed to make a brown dough. Wow! When the dough is nice and brown like this, you can wrap it in plastic wrap to keep it from drying out. It's time to make the leafy cookies! Prepare the green dough. Divide it into 1 large clump and 2 smaller ones. On a cookie sheet, spread the large lump into an oval shape by pressing it with your fingers like this. On top of the big oval, you can stick the 2 smaller lumps together and flatten them. Take 3 small pieces of the brown dough. Roll them up. And press them into the center of the small green circles, pressing down nice and lightly. Do the same on the other side. Divide the remaining piece of dough into 2 more small circles. Place them in a row between the eyes. It should look like Leapy's nose. Take the brown dough, make it long and thin, and shape it into a smiling mouth. Taking 2 smaller pieces of the plain dough will be pressed into the center of the eye. It looks just like me! So it looks like the eyeball. And now Leapy is done. Cover it with plastic wrap to keep it from drying out until you start baking. Because now it's time to make Tiggy! First, take out the plain dough, about half of the dough. On a cookie sheet, spread it out with your hands to make a mold like this. This is the face part of Tiggy. If it's difficult to use your fingers, you can use a rolling pin. But it should look kind of like a larger oval, but the bottom is straight across. 2 smaller pieces of dough, you can press them to the top to make the ears. Nice and flat, it should look like this. Next, use the 2 pieces of the plain dough, slightly smaller than the ears, to make the nose and the mouth area. Crush them with your fingers in an oval shape. They should be right in the middle of the face, just like this. Taking the brown dough, you can make a little triangle. And place it between the ovals. And you have a nose! To make the tiger pattern, you need 3 pieces of the brown dough, slightly different inside. Stretch out a long, thin piece of dough and place it in the middle of the head. And then have 2 stripes going across. The largest piece of dough should be placed vertically like this. Then you can add 2 more strips of the chocolate dough on both sides of his face. One more small circle piece to make the mouth. Now for the eyes. Let's take a small piece of brown dough and roll it up. Then place it right above the nose, but below the ears and stripes. Just like we did with Leafy, let's take 2 pieces of the plain dough and put them in the center. It looks like this. Finally, with the last 2 pieces of brown dough, I'll put them on the ears. Pick it up. I'm going to hold from the top of Tiggy so that it doesn't come apart. With the leftover dough, I can make whatever I want. If you have cookie cutters, you can use them. But if not, you can shape them with your hands into any shape that you want. Now it's time to bake. Remove the plastic wrap to prevent the dough from drying out and bake it in a preheated oven at 170 degrees for 15 minutes. They bake up wonderfully. Depending on your oven, you may need to adjust the baking time and temperature. So you may want to keep the temperature the same and try baking for a shorter time for the first time around. Then change when you need it. If you want to make more cookies, try doubling the batch. I made lots of animal cookies. Do you think Tiggy will like them if I give it to him? Oh, and I made a rabbit too. Yay! We did it! You can try it at home too. Try your best and see you next time. Goodbye!